All right, hello and welcome to the RodeoKids Podcast. I'm Isaiah Ellis. Today we have Miss Shelena Harris. Her and her husband Scott run the Harris family. They have 7 children and have a true love for the sport of rodeo. They are not only a Christ-loving rodeo family, they are also book writers. Before we start, I did want to say a little prayer because that's how I like to start things off. God, thank you for your many blessings. Thank you for who you are and what you do. Thank you for the opportunity to be able to do a podcast with Miss Shelena Harris. Today I pray that we can help cowboys today and many cowboys to come. I pray the things that we do today glorify you and you alone. I pray all these things in your mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Thank you for being able to come.
Absolutely.
First, if you could start off by telling us a little bit about you and your family and how y'all started rodeo.
We are, I'm a homeschool mom of 7 kids, 2 grandchildren. We have Jesus Barn Ministry. We basically started this rodeo just because our youngest son wanted to ride bulls and tell people about Jesus.
Yeah, I saw that.
So,
I
yes.
really enjoyed reading that book. So with your kids being first generation cowboys, how has it been teaching them something that you're not very familiar with?
I thank God for the circle of people that we have around us because honestly, we didn't know anything about rodeo. Didn't know what call-in was. We didn't know what dress code was, but that was something we wore every day anyway. It was just that, we'd prayed. I'd always prayed, Lord, encamp my children around people who will increase who they are becoming in your kingdom. And he did that. He put us in connection with people that led us to the Virginia High School Rodeo, where the kids have served on leadership positions. And thank goodness for other rodeo parents that knew more about just how to handle a horse, what it was to take care of a horse. Also, each child in each event is going to be different and what they need to be taught. So thank goodness for rodeo moms and dads.
Yes, that sounds familiar to our story. We had horses, but we never were familiar with the sport of rodeo. Just we did trail rides and kind of rode, but it was a lot. A lot of things we didn't realize going into the sport. I mean, our first rodeo was pretty much off YouTube videos. And thank God there's so many people in the sport of rodeo that are there to help you out. And God helped us in the sport, and I really appreciated them. Did you ever imagine coming this far in the sport of rodeo and book riding? Did you ever think that you would ever come this far?
No.
No.
And now that we've come this far, I don't know what else we would do. It becomes ingrained in your core of who you are. When you are surrounded by like-minded people that put God first and family first, that just encourages you to, continue. Every time God makes a way or provides, that just encourages you to stay and just keep growing where you are. I couldn't see us not rodeoing and going to any different sports. Could you all see yourself doing anything other than rodeo? No, I do have the kids here with me, by the way.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we never imagined ever doing rodeo and coming this far. I mean, now we're in the top 10. I mean, when we first started, we didn't know anything. I mean, it's hard, and we've earned it, and we've got it.
Right. What has been your favorite? What is the most difficult thing you think that you've accomplished?
Probably, I don't know. There's been a lot. Probably communication overall. It's a lot to kind of translate with a large family. You're on this horse, you're doing this, and now we're in a groove. We have a packing, how we pack, how we get ready. It's a lot.
Yes.
My next question is, how has God helped you on your rodeo journey, on y'all's rodeo journey?
Oh my gosh. He, first of all, I've been humbled, and staying humble is, that's something that God asks of us, is to stay humble, stay kind. I would say that there have been times that I've been like, Lord, if you want us here, you make the way. And every single time, I can't think of a time that He has not made a way for us to be a part of this rodeo. So it's a daily walk, it's a daily prayer, even if you're not going to the rodeo. And the lives that you are impacting and the people that impact you, you go out to bless somebody, and you're blessed 100 times more than what you can imagine. So I would say He's just really made me humble. He's made me realize that it's okay to be a receiver. You don't always have to say, I'll do it on my own.
Yeah.
In the rodeo world, you are a family, and it's give and take. And one time you may be the giver, and the next time you may be the receiver. Don't
Yes,
steal other people's blessings.
exactly. And I mean, he does small things all the time, keeping us safe in the sport, keeping our animals safe.
Yes.
I mean, things he does all the time that I think sometimes we take for granted how many things he does for us. And I'm just very thankful
Absolutely.
that he does.
Absolutely.
So, what would you say is y'all's pro and cons of being a large rodeo family?
See that trailer back there? There's a lot of us that fit in there. That is a con, but it's better than a tent. What
Yeah.
would you say are some of your pros and cons, guys? Sharing a horse.
Pro or pro is rodeo.
The pro is that they get to
Getting out there.
rodeo and get out to do it. Can you think of pros or cons of being a large rodeo family? I think one of the greatest things is that, you know, there is a lot more of us going, but there's a lot more people to help, and the kids have, you know, we're here all day and they can help one another. They or the horse or whatever, but they are to encourage and change saddles, and all the knowledge that I don't have, they have, and just the older kids help the younger kids. So I'm excited to see by the time, you know, Matthew will be our third. He graduates this year, and he'll be the third one graduating out of rodeo. And then Miss Elizabeth and Delaney and Emily, they're going to be the next. So just everything that the older kids have learned, they've poured into the younger kids.
Yeah, I love being a part of a large rodeo family because, you know, not everybody is cheering you on in the crowd, and you know you have your family to cheer you on. And when you
Yes.
need help last minute, they're going to be there. And like,
Yes.
just having that support is tremendous.
Absolutely.
And you're all trying to figure it out together, and that's great.
Yeah. And you know, like if you know, no matter what, your family has your back.
Exactly.
What if
Nobody else does.
Right, they're going to run to the trailer faster than anybody else because they know, you know, just everything that it took to get there.
Exactly.
You know, they recognize in your home, you recognize the sacrifices that you as a family make for one another.
Exactly.
And so, you know, that grows who you are and your character.
That is so true. Who has been your biggest help on your rodeo journey?
Oh my gosh. I would say Craig and Tina Van Holten. What do you got? What's everybody else say? Yeah. Craig and Tina Van Holten. They went above and beyond. I can remember being lost and would have to call Craig, and I would be somewhere in Richmond, and he knew exactly what Pizza Hut I was at, how to get me turned around and get back on the road. They took us in and just taught us and poured into us and other families, not just us. They poured into every family that they come across.
Yes, I really appreciate families like that that are always willing to have your back and help you out when you need.
Yeah.
I'm sure y'all have had plenty of rodeos and different events. Do you have one rodeo story? It could be funny or you learned a lesson. One rodeo story you'd like to share.
Oh my God. One rodeo story. What's your rodeo story?
My rodeo story is where I and Delaney sprayed the fight.
Oh, when they were little. That they had sprayed a fire extinguisher like while I was trying to get ice in a cooler. And but one, does any particular rodeo story stand out? I can remember one, just right off the top of my head, was our vehicle broke down. We couldn't get to a rodeo. We were calling around. If we get our kids there, does anybody have a horse? Somebody we don't even know, Augustus Klutz. He offered Matthew his horse, and Gus is like super tall and Matthew was super short. And pretty much everything that was in that story really did take place. And I would say that's just stories across the whole thing. Everybody willing to do whatever to help somebody else.
Yeah, that I really enjoyed that. So what is your family's rodeo dream? Where do you see y'all in the future?
With the living horse quarters.
With the living quarters horse. In all honesty, I would like to see our family being able to give back everything that's been sown into them. The vision for Jesus Born Ministry is that it is a place where kids who may not have had the opportunity to grow up in a rodeo family or even attend rodeos would have a place to come and get some hands-on experience, would have a place to come and just get a general idea of this is what takes place in the rodeo. And I feel like if more kids had the opportunity to take care of an animal or to be responsible for someone or something other than, just themselves, like in our house, our animals eat before we do. So they get up and go take care of the horses and do the barn chores, and then they'll come back and eat. But I just feel like having a place to be able to give back.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. Like, you don't realize how much you enjoy it until you actually are doing it. And you don't realize how much you enjoy it until you don't have it anymore. So yeah, I really do agree.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any rodeo hacks for us?
Any rodeo advice?
The hack.
Rodeo hacks?
Yes. Packing hack, saddling hack.
So something that we do that makes it easier is have a checklist and go by your checklist. Prep your food always, and make it simple. Make it sometimes where it's things that do not need to be heated up or cooked. Pre-prep everything that you possibly can. What are some things that you guys think about? I think about like just easy, healthy snacks that keep the kids going full of energy, because I think most people realize that when you're at the rodeo, you really don't eat a lot, but you need something to eat and keep your nutrients. Gatorade. Always pack, like I've known people that have been traveling and they were just traveling a little bit, so they didn't have water for their horse and they broke down. I think it's important to always make sure you're carrying water for your horse. Keep it simple. Just keep it simple and take only the basics of what you need.
Yes. Y'all, the more you talk, the more you remind me of our family. Like, we keep everything simple. We have checklists to make sure, because mom can't do everything and can't go through everything. It's like, you can't make all the food. So, like, keeping everything simple. We have jugs of water for our horses. Even if we're going a little bit up the road, you never know what's going to happen.
Right.
Carry everything, so you have to make sure they're taken care of. So
absolutely.
What is your favorite Bible verse or quote, and why?
Oh, one that our family Bible verse is Hebrews 10:24-25, and it just basically says to encourage, spur one another on. That's what we're called to do. If you know and have accepted Jesus Christ, you are a disciple of him, and it's your job just to encourage the next person. And I truly believe that those are seeds sown that will grow and multiply. I also, one of my favorite is I can't remember the verse exactly, but it talks about being a lantern and a compass. Show me the lantern and a compass. And life is full of seasons. Sometimes you're going to be the leader and sometimes you're going to need to be led. Sometimes you're going to be the sower and sometimes you're going to be the reaper of the harvest. And just remember that my biggest thing is remember to be kind to people. You don't know their whole story. Even on their worst day, you don't know their story. So just be kind, and also be kind to yourself. Love yourself as much as you love your neighbor. Not in a vain way, but enough that you're gonna appreciate the talents that God has given you and thank Him. Lord, thank you for that talent that you've instilled in me, whatever it is.
Yeah. If your rodeo family could go back and change one thing, what would it be?
Start sooner.
I agree. That's the same way.
Start sooner.
How long have y'all been doing rodeo?
13 years.
Wow. We are only in our fourth year of rodeo now. So
Yeah.
we're still figuring it out, but man, I wish we would have started sooner.
Yes, 13 years, we're still figuring it out.
Yeah. And God's blessed y'all along the way. I mean, just the horse trade from
amazing.
what y'all had at the beginning of the book. I mean, He's really
Yeah.
blessed.
Yes.
What is something y'all like to do outside of the sport of rodeo?
Fish,
Yeah.
water sports. What do you like to do outside of rodeo?
Practice.
Practice. Practice for the rodeo. Of course, what do you girls do outside of rodeo?
Play
Baseball,
volleyball, kickball.
kickball. They, when we have our Sunday school at the rodeos, the kids will get in the arena and it's a time for them to come together and work as a team. They'll play volleyball, kickball, tug of war, things that just keep them to remember that, you all, even though you're competing against one another in the arena, you're still a team.
Yeah.
And we're all on the same team.
Mm-hmm. What started your book writing journey?
Oh. I didn't want to waste the seeds that were being sown into our family. I wanted to be an encouragement to other people. I wanted to highlight how people have helped other people along the way. God has done so many good things in our life. And He showed up in times that were least expected. And the biggest thing was I wanted to offer encouragement and faith.
Yeah. Y'all's faith shows so much in your book. Like, I have only read the Cowboy Devotional, but like, just seeing one thing that stood out to me is y'all asked God for a horse, then y'all did the fence. And I think it sounds simple, but I think it's a mistake that a lot of Christians make. They want to ask God for something, but they don't want to prepare for what God's going to give them. And I think that God's like, you're not prepared for what I'm going to give you. So just seeing that y'all are preparing for what God's going to give you because you have faith that He's going to do that. I think that has helped y'all abundantly. Y'all's faith has helped you abundantly grow to who y'all are today. And that really shone out just in this, that I noticed. How many books y'all have now?
We have currently written, the Cowboy Devotional was our first. We have 7. Every cowboy has a story, and that's where other cowboys tell their stories. And the greatest stories are the ones where they say, I don't have a story.
Mm-hmm.
And then they tell their story. We're working on book number 8 right now. And then we have Jesus Born, A Journey to the Barn. So we have 9 books.
You have 9.
9, yes.
That is great. Where can people get your books?
They can get them from Amazon. They can Google the Harris Family Tribe, Cowboy Devotional. Every cowboy has a story, and it'll pull up all the books that we have.
hold on one second. What are you most thankful for?
Salvation.
Yeah.
Salvation, and that God puts us exactly where we need to be. I could not imagine, some days life is really tough, just life in general. I couldn't imagine going through life and not having the faith that I have. And more than anything, I want to instill in my kids that, God loved us so much that he gave his son for us. That sacrifice to love somebody, as a parent, we love our kids so much that we'll sacrifice our time or anything just so that they can do what they love, which is rodeo. We'll sacrifice. And God loves us more than that.
Yeah.
And it's just important to always remember that.
Yeah. Y'all have really, really inspired me. I mean, sometimes it may not seem like just simple as getting to tell your story. I mean, it's really, really inspired me. Does anybody else, Seda, Madison, or Cameron, do y'all have any question for Miss Shelena?
I just want to say thank you for joining us, and I think it's amazing how God works. I was kind of telling Isaiah how you guys came into the Pony Pro world, and how awesome that was, and how fun it was to have you guys, and that's how I got to know you. And I just think it's amazing how God connects people, and it doesn't always happen instantly, and it can feel like, sometimes we're not getting something out of a program or out of a situation or out of a club or organization or friendship that we think we should be, but those things don't happen instantaneously, and I hope you guys got a lot out of the Pony Pros, but it continues to flourish and grow. And as long as you take every opportunity that you've got to see and to meet and to learn and to grow and to connect with people, just like how this conversation has flourished, and it's been able to bring two very unique families who have so much to offer and so much to give and such an impact to make, to come together. So I just think that's awesome. And I'm so thankful that that was able to happen.
What has been your greatest, since you've started the Rodeo Kids, what has been just the greatest moment of all that?
Oh, wow. That's a big question. There's been so many. I don't know that it's like the huge moments that make a difference to me. It's the little moments where you get a message from somebody, one of the kids that if it's a Pony Pro or a rodeo kid that you've really been praying for, and you see those prayers being answered, and you see God working in their life, and you see that it did make a little bit of difference. And, I think stuff like that is the most impactful for me, and just the most amazing, how sometimes it's just the little things that make such a big difference.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Does Sada or Madison have another question before I end with my last couple of questions?
I have a question.
You're good. Go ahead.
What is your favorite inspirational Bible verse or quote?
Oh, right now, will you look up and see? It talks about the compass and the lantern, and I wish that I could remember it. One of the kids is looking it up right now, but it just reminds me that we all have the potential to be a light. We all have the potential to share our light, because even if it's just like a little twinkle, it is more. Yes, Psalms 43:3. Give me your lantern and compass. Give me a map so I can find my way to the. You have to close that out, I think. Oh, sorry. Can you pull it back up? Okay, there it is. Sorry. Give me your lantern and compass. Give me a map so I can find my way to the sacred mountain, to the place of your presence. And to me, I just think about getting to a place that's with the Lord and just being there in his presence, how peaceful that is. You know, if you can get outside, I think you should get outside every day. Never miss the opportunity to watch the sun come up, because it only happens once a day. And that is an opportunity to start your day over. If yesterday was bad, you have a new opportunity to just say, look, today is going to be a different day. Today I'm going to grow. And staying in the peace of where God wants you to be. I always say he's the Prince of Peace. And if you can teach your kids that in struggles, to just stay in the peace of God instead of turning to things that may not be the best for them. If you can teach them that, you know what, no matter what you're going through, even if it's tough, stay on this path, keep your compass, keep your lantern. It does work out in the end. I would never, oftentimes we forget that we had a horse in our basement for several weeks. You know, we look out over our pasture now and it's fenced in. We have a barn, we have 4 horses. And I think sometimes we take it for granted and forget that it wasn't always like this.
I really, really love, what you've just said there and how the sun comes up every day and it's a new opportunity. And I think as we talk about rodeo and life and just the opportunities that are there, it can be tough as a parent and as a competitor. And just remembering that every day is a new day and a new opportunity. I think that really gives a person a lot of hope and a whole new perspective on how to live life and to move forward in anything that you're doing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I love that.
Sarah, did you have something to say?
Yes, I just am so glad that you're on this podcast today. Also, I want to thank you for being a light in the rodeo world. There's so much need for that in rodeo.
Yes, thank you. Thank you guys as well. And, when I think about how people are just put in your life, every moment, every single second is orchestrated by God if we just allow him to. Like the other day, the phone call with Sarah and I, it was just like we had known each other forever. We had so much in common, and the Lord just really moved in both of our lives. It's so important. And to have these kids, for one, be in leadership positions gives them the knowledge, it gives them the grit and determination that they can do hard things. They can step out of their comfort zone. It's just remarkable, absolutely remarkable.
If you could give one word of advice to a new cowboy starting rodeo, what would it be?
One word of advice, other than the obvious, pray. I would say listen.
Oh,
Listen, even if it is, I always tell the older or the younger kids, learn from the older kids or learn from somebody else's mistakes. Listen, take what you need and just disregard the rest, because you will either learn how to be a better person or how to not be that type of person.
Yes, I've really, really enjoyed doing a podcast. I've learned a lot, and this is what it's about: helping other people in the sport of rodeo, growing the sport. Y'all have done an amazing job, and y'all have really helped me out and helped a lot of people out. I really appreciate you coming and your time. Where can people get a hold of you?
They can get a hold of me on Facebook. Right now, just Facebook. Is the kids have the Instagrams and things like that. Matthew can be reached at his Klondike's Leather, the Harris family, or just Shelena Harris under my Facebook, and Jesus Born Ministries.
All right. thank you again for coming to the Rodeo Kids podcast. I've really enjoyed it. This was kind of a shorter one, but we've learned a lot and it's helped me out a lot and I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Hopefully we get to see each other in November.
Yeah.
That's the goal that we're shooting for.
That will be exciting.
Yes, it will.
Much.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Thank you so much, Shelena, and
Oh,
keep
thank
doing what
you.
you're doing. We're praying for you, and we really appreciate you.
You also. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Alright.
thank
You're very welcome.
Have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Welcome. Bye.